I want to thank you and welcome you all for joining us today and being in the right place at the very right time. My name is Shana Campbell, and I own a company called Think, Learn, Engage, where we believe in engaging people to ignite their performance beyond their dreams. I was sitting at my desk about a year ago, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, what do I do now? And this question came about because there was this business that was burning inside of me that I had been wanting to start for some time. But working for an organization where we do pretty much the same thing, it was a conflict of interest. So I kept telling myself, there's no way they're actually going to allow me to do this. There's no way that they're going to approve of this. Who would want to hear from me? Who wants to hear my story? Who wants me to help them? So it was my way of actually letting go and giving in to my fear. So one day I'm sitting at my desk and something said to me, just go upstairs. Upstairs was the HR department. So I walk upstairs, I'm talking to the HR director, and I said, I want to say something to you. May I ask you a question? And she said, sure, but is everything okay? And I'm thinking to myself, no, everything's not okay. I'm actually about to put my job on the line. Do I really want to go through with this? So I take a deep breath, I let it out, and I told her my story. And the first thing that she said to me was, I trust you. And you know the paperwork you signed. We can work out the logistics later. So I'm thinking to myself, what? Like, that was it? We can work out the logistics later. So I go back down to my desk and I'm sitting there. My boss happens to walk past. So I call him in as well. And I share my story. See, I want to start a business that carries my passion, and it just so happens to be helping other people develop themselves. Pretty much the same thing we do here. And the thing he said to me was, I trust you. And I'm literally thinking, this is deja vu, because I just heard these words about 5 minutes ago. And he says, I trust you. I trust in your ability. You do great work, and I think you'll be fantastic. And furthermore, if you need a reference, please let me know. And he just walks out. So that brings me back to sitting at my desk thinking, what am I going to do now? And then I found out in that moment that what I was going to do now required me to be as bold and as fearless as I had ever been. But I also learned that on my journey to being bold and fearless, that I wasn't alone, that there were other entrepreneurs that were looking to do the same thing I was, that were afraid. They didn't believe in themselves. They thought that they were walking this road alone without support. But then I kept thinking to myself, I've done this before. I've started 4 successful businesses that actually came about as hobbies. I sold shoes for women of large foot sizes. I sold jewelry as a wholesaler. So I thought to myself, if I was successful in these businesses, why can't I rinse and repeat with this other business? And that's what led to Think, Learn, Engage. I believe that helping other people discover their passions and bringing their genius out and stop letting them hide behind the fear, the self-doubt, the I'm not sure what to do, led me to developing a program called Launch Me in 4. And this program is designed to do exactly what I felt I didn't have at that time, that I was hiding behind the fear of my job being taken away. Because I had never given myself permission to be successful, I had only given myself excuses of why I couldn't be successful. So when I asked that question that day, hey, will you guys support me? And they said yes. I didn't know what to do, because that was the one thing, the one excuse that I wasn't prepared to get the right answer for. So the Launch Me in 4 program is a 4-week program that will help you calm those fears that you have and launch into your greatness. And it's broken up into 4 phases. The first phase is plan, which helps you plan out what you would like to do. What is in here? What have you been thinking about? What are your desires? What is the genius that everybody in this world needs to see and you need to stop being so selfish at and holding on to? The second week, we go into assess. This is assessing everything that's around you. What kind of knowledge do you have? What information do you currently possess within you? What kind of resources do you have in terms of people that can help you out? In addition to the money, because we all know it's about the money, but not really about the money. Week 3, we go into design. Design is taking all of those things from the previous weeks, putting them in together and figuring out the plan that's going to make you the winner that you are. And then the last week, we execute. We light a fire and we go at it. And so you do all of these things week 1 through week 4, not only with support that is unmatched, but it also provides you the opportunity to get the feedback that you've been looking for. If the website is not looking too great, is your copy not where you want it to be? You'll have an opportunity to work with other people who are going through the exact same thing. So now that we've gone through plan, assess, design, and execute, which spells paid, at the end of the course, you have an opportunity to get paid what you are worth. And for some of you, it's going to depend on what your business is. If you're a blogger, that may mean engagement. If you're someone who is in sales, that may mean an opportunity to sell more. If you're just a mom who wants to start a Mommy and Me group, it means people actually opting into your idea. But don't keep hiding behind that you're not good enough, that you have that fear. Let's step outside of that fear and step into the greatness that I know that you were designed to create. So what I would like you to do is get out a piece of paper and break it into 4 quadrants like this. And so in the top, you're going to put a P, over to A, down to D, and in the bottom right, you're going to have an E. In this P, we're going to talk about planning because this is the most important part of what we're going to do. This is laying the foundation so that that foundation is not weak when we go to build on it in the coming weeks. So what are you going to plan out? This is your time. One of the things that I found out that entrepreneurs usually don't know about themselves is how much time they have to allocate to this dream, to this hustle, if you will. So if you don't know how much time you have, how can you actually be successful in going into an endeavor when you're scrambling to make time? So you're going to chart out in this P, mark time, just write down time. In the assess, I would like you to write down resources. And this is what I talked about earlier. What kind of resources are available to you? If you're like me, you've taken every webinar there is, you have ebooks out galore, you've probably have some downloads, you've gone to the store to buy every book that any successful entrepreneur has suggested. So pull those off the shelf, dust them off, and figure out what you have. Because this is where we are going to fill in the gaps that will lead us into the design week. In design, we're going to build a foundation of charting out what do we do next. And so I would like you to write design here. And then for the E, write execute. The E is all about action. This whole process is all about action. And so after you do that, flip the page over. And we're just going to go a little bit deeper into the assess phase. The assess phase of this is probably the most critical phase that you can have after plan. Because if you don't know what you have at your fingertips, you won't know what you need to go out and get in order for you to be successful later on. So in the first column, break this up into 4 columns on the back of your paper. In the first column, I would like you to put me, as in you. What do you have? What do you know? What do you currently bring to the table that will help you out as you begin to plan out this business or this endeavor? In the second column, I would like you to put external. These are going to be all of the resources, the webinars, the ebooks, everything that you have that is external to you that you've invested in, that you have at your disposal to use. In the next column, I want you to put people, because they're resources too. And you'll be surprised just how much you have at your fingertips. And also, Google University is the best university to attend. Look up some people who are in your field that potentially may be able to help you or provide you with some insight. And then the final one is the money. Because if you don't know how much you have to invest in this, how will you know how far you can take it immediately and how far you need to grow? So we started out with PADE, P-A-D-E, plan, assess, design, and execute. The Launch Me in 4 program will go a little bit more in depth, or a lot more in depth, in these 4 areas. And what these areas help you do is to plan out, not only plan, but take action in those areas. And as the title of this talk is, take radical action to create measurable business results. That doesn't mean that the launch is going to be the end of the story. It's actually just the beginning. But the best part of this story is that you've decided to take the action that was necessary to move you forward. This takes me back to when I was sitting at my desk and I was thinking to myself, what is it that I do now? What do I do? And for anything we would like to do, and in order to be successful, we need to take the first step and take action. So by taking action, it leads us to down a road or down a path that will allow us to see the possibilities and stop thinking about why we're not good enough. Had I not taken action that day when I was sitting at my desk, I would have never had the opportunity to be here with you at this conference. So with the Launch Me in 4 program, the investment for this for you is $497. And what you will get in that program is a concerted effort of support. It's a one-on-one call with me, and we'll talk about what are your aspirations? What are the things that you would like to accomplish? And then after we go there, you will be assigned an accountability partner, because success alone isn't that great, and you're not going to be able to get where you need to go by yourself. And so as we move through this process, I want you to know that you have unwavering support from not only your accountability partner, but the other individuals who are in the course as well. In order to make a change in your life, you definitely have to do something you've never done before. It doesn't matter what it is. Can you just show up at the movie theater and expect to get in for the movie at the time you want to go? I think not. Do you actually get in your car and expect to end up at work in the morning? No. You actually chart out your plan and your thoughts for getting to work that morning. What about anything else in your life? Just take a moment and think back. Everything that you've ever done in life has required you to take action. And plan A sometimes doesn't work, but that doesn't mean you failed. It only means you have additional insight to where you need to go. Don't go at this alone. Don't feel that you need to be by yourself going through a plan that may not work. It's in you. The genius is in you. Please let that genius out. Don't be selfish, because we all need to see what genius you have inside of you and what you've built and what God has given to you only, and only you, to tell your story. And what I always say is, don't let that Facebook memory come up next year of you attending this conference and you're so happy and you're so excited that you learned so much, but next year you're in the same place. I would like you to join me as an actionpreneur and take that next step in your journey to your greatness. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to working with you. And most of all, I look forward to your genius.